series, Take It Off Today. My next guest used to be a burger-loving, manly man. But after tipping the scales at more than 400 pounds, Josh LaJaunie started doing things differently. A lot differently. And he lost a whopping 230 pounds. And what he did next after that got him on national television today. Watch. For most of Josh LaJaunie's life, food was everything.
The diet back then was very just pleasure-centric, and I think that's what's first and foremost.
That's especially true when you hail from the food-loving state of Louisiana.
At the center of it all was always Bam Bam's gumbo or my mama's 7-layer cake.
Growing up in Thibodaux, about an hour outside of New Orleans, Josh was an avid hunter and fisherman, eating just about everything. But by 2011, at the age of 33, Josh's weight had ballooned to more than 400 pounds.
I was disgusted and disappointed because here I was, I had already spent months trying to fix this thing. And the scale I did have just said error.
Shortly after that moment, Josh realized a real change was needed.
Begin to change. I just went with what was familiar because I have a football background. And so going back to the gym.
He also tailored his diet to a whole foods, plant-based diet, cutting out meat and dairy entirely. And he began running. But that's not where the story ends for Josh. Driven by a desire to help others, he recently started a Facebook group called the Missing Chins Run Club.
We're gonna keep it a secret group because it's just a safe place for us guys, us ex-fat guys.
Josh's own brother Dustin, who maxed out at 425 pounds 5 years ago, has since lost 175 pounds and counting. But even he admits he thought the diet was a bit far-fetched.
He said, I think it's not more meat, I think it's no meat is the way to go. And I thought he was crazy.
Close friend Josh Turner joined Missing Chins shortly after it began and has lost more than 100 pounds and gotten his type 1 diabetes under control. But he's more thankful for a second chance, something he never thought he'd get.
I've had a lot of things in my life. I had tons of medical issues that have went away, and I'm out there running where I couldn't even run before. So it's really given me my life back.
And newcomer Neil Leday is slowly learning that the group has more to offer than just running.
I still make mistakes, I'm still learning, and that's what this group's about. You know, I post stuff, hey, I'm eating this, and they're like, no, you can't eat that. I'm like, oh, all right.
Josh knows his unorthodox diet may put him at odds with family and friends in a state known more for its Cajun cuisine.
To be a voice for that is going to be difficult. It's going to put me at odds with family members and people that I have grown up with, but I'm cool with it. It's important that we get very clear on what's the only eating protocol proven to reverse chronic disease scientifically.
All right, is everyone ready for a closer look at Josh today? He used to weigh 420 pounds. He has lost more than half of his size and can proudly say he now weighs 190. Josh, come on out.
So nice.
Oh, so nice to meet you too. Thank you for being here. Thanks for having me. Congratulations. You look awesome.
Well, okay.
All right, so take us back. I know you played college football, right? Mm-hmm. And you said you really weren't so much of an athlete. That's not the reason you got you got drafted. You were what?
I felt like a pawn. I felt like a pawn for the actual athletes on the field. I was a big guy that got in the way. So the more in-shape guys could move around, whether I was on the defensive line taking up blocks so the linebackers could, make stops, or if I was on the offensive line making blocks so the quarterbacks and running backs could do their thing.
What was your light bulb moment where it was like, I've got to change?
The most recent light bulb moment was I was actually going back to school as a non-traditional student, and my senior year, I knew that I was going to have to get it on a stage in front of people and give this business presentation with a suit on. And not only was I 10 years older than everyone, but I was also 200 pounds heavier than everyone. And I was very nervous about tucking in my shirt and putting on a tie. And so that's really the last sort of spark that just kind of sent me over the edge. I've got to do something. Stop worrying and let's start doing.
I feel that same feeling honestly, even at my size before I go on a beach vacation. Truly, where you think,
Of
like,
course.
I don't really want to put on that little bathing suit and parade around. And you think, you know what? You could actually do something about it. You could actually like go to the gym. You could try to firm up a little. You could. So I mean, I think no matter what your size, you can relate to that feeling of like I can
Sure.
do better.
Sure.
But yours was an extreme, obviously.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
the reason we have this food over here is, you tell us what was your typical breakfast while you were 400 pounds?
Right. Basically, it would be, you know, just a fast food breakfast of I would usually bring my grandfather. Ashamed to admit it, actually, but I would usually bring my grandfather breakfast, and this is what I would do: is I would stop and get him his favorite sandwich, and I would get me a sandwich to eat when I did arrive at his house, which is where I work, but I would eat that sandwich with him, but I would also get food for the ride, because as soon as I would go somewhere and that window, and that bag of food would pass through that window, I wanted to eat right now. And so I would get extra, you know, sausage biscuits just for the ride. And then once I got to where I was going, then I would sit down and have my meal. And then it would be, in just a few hours, I would be getting honey buns because I spend a lot of time in my truck driving around and managing property. And so I would just go from service station to service station and honey buns and, you know, just different pastries and junk food.
In a way, it's abusive to yourself,
It
to your
is.
well-being, and
But we call it living. Like, oh, you got to live it up.
we talk about it like it's celebratory.
Right.
You're like, oh, it's your birthday. Why don't you have the big cake? And it's
Yes,
like, well, wait,
ma'am.
why would I gift myself a bunch of terrible sugar for me and all sorts of processed foods? I want to talk about how you got out of it and how you helped so many others, guys in particular, who don't like to talk about this, get out of it. Right after the break, that's where we're going to pick it up when we meet 3 men Josh inspired to drop the pounds, and you will not believe what they look like now. All right, so you have met Josh Lajani, or what's left of him. He accomplished something incredible, and there he is on the cover of Runner's World. Think about that. He used to be 400 pounds. Look at him. He has now built up a brotherhood, starting a private Facebook group called the Missing Chins Run Club. So we're going to meet some of those missing chins, beginning with, there's Dustin Lajani, who is Josh's little brother. He was 425 pounds before he dropped 175. He's still going. Tim Kaufman, who's a husband and father who dropped from well over 400 pounds to 215, and Anthony Mazziello. No, it's Anthony Mazziello. There we go. Sorry, from New Jersey. Lost 160 pounds down to just 200 now. They've lost over 750 pounds collectively. Come on out, guys. Hi. Great job. Nice to meet you, Tim. How are you doing? Welcome. Thank you for being here. You guys look awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Now, seeing you so slim and trim, it feels like must have been easy. Must have been easy to go from 425, right? But I think we sort of skip right over the pain of being that overweight, how emotionally painful it is. Let me start with you on it, Dustin. You guys are brothers.
Right.
So what was that like for you?
It's tough to deal with. You kind of hide it a lot, the pain that comes along with being that big. But you kind of hide it and try and be tough. But some of the pain I dealt with was, holding your breath to tie your shoes. That's a big deal. Or not being able to go see a movie because you can't fit in the seat. So a lot of the pain is some pain that other people that don't make it to be that big, experience.
Yep. And the thing is, men don't talk about this as much as women. Like I know I have a lot of heavy people in my family. I'm not heavy, but I think we all have body images to some extent. We talk about them. But women, I think it's harder. I mean, men, it's harder for. Has that been your experience?
For sure.
And so how meaningful was it to you when Josh formed this sort of men's club, this Facebook group?
Well, it's really nice to know that we're not out there alone. I think that's the biggest thing, that we all kind of have the same, we think we're on this island and we have these same struggles, but we really don't.
And I know, Tim, that being obese was not your only struggle, and some nights you felt you would not wake up the next morning. Tell us about that.
Well, I have a genetic connective tissue disease, so it's called Ehlers-Danlos. So my joints are super loose, and all the extra weight just compounded it. And then the way I was eating just filled me with inflammation. So I was in crutches and braces, and I couldn't hardly walk to my truck anymore.
Anthony, what was it? What was your aha moment where you said, I got to do it?
Mine was like a multi-step aha moment. My first was I was at age 33, I was denied a 20-year term life insurance policy. And I took that as a death sentence, and it really caused me to look back at my life and what kind of husband was I being for my wife, in the condition that I was in. And what kind of father was I being for my children? I was bringing children into this world, and already I was being shown the door, like the exit, the way out. It was really scary. And it kind of created that bottom moment for me where I just knew I had to do something about it. I had to change.
Josh, I know you're a Saints fan? Okay, all of it, everybody here. I'm told you used to sit at the Saints games and have like the burgers and the dogs and so on, and now are you sitting there eating kale chips, or what are you doing?
No, peanuts. Peanuts
Okay.
and plants. Right? Yeah, no, I'll do peanuts and bottled water at the game. And, that's...
No meat whatsoever. You don't eat any meat. Do any of you guys still eat meat? Nothing.
Zero.
Or dairy.
How hard was that?
Not as hard as it is living at 425
Right,
pounds.
absolutely.
Right. So what do you have for dinner?
We had some veggie rolls
Okay.
at a sushi restaurant.
And that was okay for you?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Do you have to have like 40 of them? I mean, I feel like that wouldn't be enough.
Well,
we had some 3-bean vegan chili.
That sounds good.
Throughout earlier that day, and we had some oatmeal at Whole Foods that morning. We actually ran to Whole Foods and had some oatmeal and fresh
What was your
fruit.
best resource in terms of what you read to get you from the meat-eating guy to like the guy who can talk about the 3-bean chili and walk me through what you eat?
Well, Josh introduced it to me, but the thing that really changed my mind was the documentary I watched, which was Forks Over Knives.
Forks over knives.
It just opened my eyes. It opened my eyes.
You know, we've been hearing so much about plant-based eating lately, haven't we, right? And I don't know, I'm a meat eater, but it gives you food for thought. Listen, you look amazing. I can feel your positive energy, and I'm sure it's largely due to your lifestyle changes and how good you're feeling about yourselves. Thank you so much for telling your stories.
Thanks for having us.
Love. Can anybody join the Facebook group now? Any of the guys out there watching this?
Yes. Find me by name on social media. Message me, because you won't find the Facebook group by searching for it, because
Okay.
it's a secret group.
Okay.
Find me, message me, or any of these guys, and we can add you.
Think about it. For the men sitting there at home, you are not alone either. There is support for you as well. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
For more on the Missing Chins Run Club, you can go to today.com/Megyn Today.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.